It's fun.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckye Cast, coming at you loud and proud, bringing strong opinions and salty humor to Ohio State football. These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and their brand of banter is guaranteed to entertain and excite you. But if you're not a Buckeye, don't bother. Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Buckeye Cast to stay up to date on all things Ohio State football. And be sure to subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? Here we are back again. It's good to see you. Good to hear you. This week sucks. Sorry. I got to be real about it. I'm not too hyped about this episode. I'm in the middle of spackling some holes in my wall, so I'm going to get back to that. The spackling's drying. I got to paint over it. But I got my guy, Sean Henry, up in Detroit, coming at you.
What's happening, y'all?
Yeah, Henry, this is not the episode we want to have, obviously. Extreme frustration.
Extreme.
Yeah. This is almost unbelievable. Against motherfucking Penn State, we have to talk about this.
That punk-ass Franklin.
Yeah. The dude needed this signature win to carry his program and keep his contract, and he got it. So,
when did the word signature win become a thing? Now that's all I hear. Everybody's got this signature win. Sounds like some made-up pussy shit to me.
It's contract extenders. That's the synonym. It's a way to keep your job for a few more weeks.
Thank you for that clarification.
Right. So anyway, Buckeye fans, hit us up. You know where we're at. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, iTunes. Please subscribe to us. Give us some feedback. Let us know how much we suck or how great we are. Whatever. We're also on SoundCloud and Stitcher as well. So hit the website, thebuckeyecast.com.
The Buckeye Cast.
Word. This is me and Sean today. We're going two-wheeling on this bitch. And we're going to jump right into this Penn State game. We're going to recap this sucker. I don't know how much we can say that's going to make it feel better. It took me 3 days to get off the freaking ledge, honestly. So Henry, give me your quick post-game recap and your feelings coming out of that game.
Well, I hated the game. I mean, the game was garbage. It
was a tough watch.
To me, it looked like Ohio State playing Michigan State last year. It was just nothing ever to get excited about. I think the D was playing solid, giving up some big plays, but the offense needed to score more, and the offense looks in disarray. And Penn State played their asses off. I got to give it to them. What else can you say? They played us. The good thing is, with this young team, I thought it would happen sometime. I thought it happened, to maybe Wisconsin or Michigan State. But so it happened to Penn State with this young team. And I think I'm going to try and take a positive out of it and think that, all right, now you fucking get hungry. Stop reading your headlines that you're so fucking good and get back to work. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yep, I like that. I agree. It was all about this was going to happen probably. Nobody really goes undefeated anymore in college football.
It's hard.
Look at Nick Saban's tenure at Alabama. He has one undefeated season. Okay, just one. And look at how many titles they've won. So, especially in the new environment of the Big Ten, where everybody has money, everybody can pay coaches, they can recruit better, and they can build better facilities. So that tells you this is gradually going to happen. We've seen it with Wisconsin. We even saw it with Indiana, which was surprising. I never thought we'd see a good defense in Indiana. That's a shocker. And then tack on Penn State, these guys had been dealing with sanctions for how many years, and now they're finally up to level scholarship points. So, go ahead.
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something. So my point is, we're seeing the Big Ten kind of rise up, as a whole, because of the better coaching, recruiting, scholarship issues that nobody has anymore, and these financial gains that we all have. So it's not surprising. It sucks that this.
Well, there's something. I mean, am I looking at it through the scarlet-colored glasses? But I feel like Indiana, Wisconsin, and Penn State, they all play good football. They play hard football. All three of them gave us everything we wanted, I felt. And the Big Ten, you're right, is solid.
Yep. This is best conference in the country. And if I don't need to point to our schedule. We have one of the toughest schedules in the fucking country right now.
Oh, gosh. We still got Nebraska.
Yep. Top 10 team. And how many top 10 teams have we already played? Oklahoma was a 2. Wisconsin was, what?
8,
6?
I think.
8, whatever. So, and we're not even done. We're looking at
4 top 10 teams.
At least. Yep. So, anyway, it's good for the conference. It's not good for us. It's good when you talk to the playoff committee. They're going to.
It changes nothing as far as I'm concerned with the playoff committee. I mean, we had this loss to give, but we can't lose at Michigan. Right. I mean, I guess it throws a little wrench in it that Penn State hasn't lost any games either, but. We'll have to discuss that because I don't know how all these rules play out with the tie break and ifs and sands and buts.
That's the key. Before we jump into the Penn State recap here, well, let's touch on that. So we need Penn State to lose again, or we need or we need Michigan to go undefeated until our game, because there will be a tiebreaker if Michigan loses between us, Penn State, and Michigan, and we will lose that tiebreaker with Penn State.
Well, why wouldn't Penn State lose it to Michigan, and why wouldn't Michigan lose it to us?
Well, assuming Michigan's not going to lose. I'm saying, look at their schedule. They're probably going to win out. They got punk-ass Michigan State, who sucks. They got Iowa, who sucks.
Yeah. They're going to win out.
Right. So it comes down to us and Penn State at the Michigan game. So we need Michigan to win out. They take a loss, we're fucked, because it's going to be us and Penn State.
And then a heads up, we lose to Penn State because they beat us.
Right.
But if it's 3-way,
it can't be. It can't be, because we play Michigan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Michigan goes undefeated until they play us. Then we beat them. So that means we beat Michigan.
Right.
Michigan beat Penn State, and Penn State beat us, and that's anyone's only conference losses.
Then the tiebreaker goes to Penn State.
Why?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know that. Someone needs to explain that to me. Someone chime in if you know that rule, because I don't. I'm sure it's out there. It's easily researched. But that wasn't my strong suit today. Yeah, I don't know, because if it's a 3-way tie, then what?
Yeah. Man, that's a major monkey.
I still think we control our destiny. We went out, we're in that thing.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. That's the goal, and that's reality, if we win out. So I don't know what happens if Michigan takes a loss. I would be shocked if that happened.
I would be too.
The assumption right now is that we win out, Michigan wins out, and we beat them in our game with them, and then Penn State gets left out in the cold.
Well, you're right. I think we need Michigan to have a chance because if it's heads up us and Penn State, they win.
Right. Yeah. We really need Penn State to take a loss, and then we need to beat Michigan. That's basically the most control we have right now. That makes you feel better.
It doesn't.
No.
You got to root for. You got to want Michigan to win the rest of the way. I mean, I don't think if we don't play in the Big Ten championship, I don't necessarily think we'll get in. If we're in that Big Ten championship game and win that game, then we're in. No. There's no doubt we're.
Yeah, you got to go to the championship game to actually be considered. So,
but if we have a 3-way tie and if they send fucking Penn State over Ohio State or Michigan, that's just stupid.
And that's going to be ugly. So, anyway, I'm glad we figured that out. I feel so much better about that scenario.
I'm more confused. What's going on?
Anyway, let's kill this Penn State game. Let's put a fucking shovel in this bitch for once and all. 24-21. Slow start by the offense is what I saw, and a horrific finish. Did not score a fucking point in the fourth quarter. That was nice to see. And a lot of it was the O-line getting devoured by Penn State's D-line. Is that how you saw it?
Getting devoured, that's a good word for it. I just saw it as nothing looks good. And I look at the numbers and it looks like Barrett did okay, 65% accuracy, but only 5.7 yards. I don't know. I still don't feel like our receivers are playing well, or Barrett's not. Someone's not playing well in those regards. I mean, because half of those yards are the little flip passes to Weber that go for nothing.
Well, I'm happy with these little swing passes because it shows that JT has time to check down. Because obviously that swing pass was not the first option in his progressions. So at least something is there, and Weber makes something out of nothing, just like remember Zeke used to do. It's just these are becoming mostly the option because we're not getting separation downfield. What I see is that Marcus Baugh is basically our number one receiver, the tight end. That's a fucking tight end. I mean, seriously.
We go to him a lot, don't we?
Sure did. I mean, the dude makes a catch most of the time. He might have a stupid penalty in the fourth quarter at a horrible time, but he does make catches, and he'll ramble into the end zone for a touchdown too. I can't be upset with the guy for his effort. However unfortunate his penalties are. But we have zero receiver standing out. This
what the fuck is with that?
I don't know if it's coaching, man, or just dudes are not developing fast enough. I mean, go back to the beginning of the season, we knew we had a super young team, okay, at every position basically. So are these guys not being developed fast enough, which lies on Coach Smith with the receivers? And then you also got to bang on the O-line, Yeah. I know we got Coach Studrawa in there, but, is this kind of a get-to-know-you year between the O-lineman and this new coach? I mean, Warner's still there.
Well, I mean, it might be a get-to-know-you year, but I don't know how you whiff on so many. I mean, there's some bad O-line play going on.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
And you know what? There towards the end, they could have caught us for a couple more false starts that they let us off on that were.
Oh, really? I didn't catch those.
Jeez.
Fuck.
Hold it together, Isaiah.
Yeah, that's nice. And also Michael Jordan. He took an ass kicking.
Yeah.
DeMarco Jones did not really do much. He was getting blown by. This looked like last year's Penn State D-line that went to the NFL.
Well, that one guy came in at the half and had like 2 or 3 sacks.
Right. Yeah, these are not the same guys we played against last year. These guys almost look better, you know. This was a terrible display by the O-line.
I think they played great. I take nothing away from them. They were all high motor guys. They were just coming.
Yeah.
But they played great, and we played terrible. And it was apparent. It was disgusting. And last time this happened, kind of like this to a team, was Virginia Tech, and then look how that year turned out.
Sure.
So I hope this is that catalyst that. Hey guys, wake up.
Yep. I hope that we respond like we typically do after a loss, just like 2015 when we played or when we lost to Michigan State in our house. We came out and smashed Michigan the next week, and then we smashed Notre Dame in the bowl game. So I hope we have this response. I'm not sure with a young team it's going to be similar or not. That's my concern is the youth of this team. So, and we really got to talk about the special team gaffes. Fuck. That cost us the game because we owned that stat sheet. You go look at the box score, go look at the team stats for that game. We owned every category. We owned every position. There was nothing they beat us on. But those fucking special teams gaffes. The block kick and the block fucking punt. I mean, and that was their scoring in the fourth quarter. That's how you look at a game. You step back at the end of a game and look at all the numbers and just think about the game, and you're like, we beat them in every way. We scored early in the first half. We got big plays with the Curtis Samuel 75-yard run. We were moving the ball. We had time of possession. We had total yardage, but these special teams fucking gaffes. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is like Herb's baby, these special teams gaffes. And I want to ask you, do you think they should have taken a timeout before that field goal attempt?
Oh my God, it's so apparent. How are you going to do that in that weather? You're going to run them out there. And I forget how much time was on the clock, but it was less than 10 seconds. And you're going to have them set up and try this long field goal when you've got a lead. Call a timeout. Hold on, Herb. That was a terrible, terrible error as far as I'm concerned.
You're asking for a block, right?
Oh my gosh. And then Herb's like, well, he makes him in practice. Dude, give the guy a fucking break. Call a timeout, man. You're going to run him out there?
Yeah. And what are you saving the timeout for?
I don't put that on Tyler Durbin. I just don't.
Right. What are you saving that timeout for? Is that really worth it?
No, we had 2 at the time, right? Didn't we have 2?
Yes. Because we took one early in the third quarter, I believe, or early fourth, one or the other.
We were up by 4. We didn't.
Yeah. So that caused the turn of possession and the score change. That was just mind blowing to watch how quickly that momentum switched.
For Ohio State to get outscored 17-0 in the fourth quarter is disgusting. Oh my God, I can't even believe it.
I've never seen that.
And I feel like this week, I feel like the last couple weeks that these teams, we have more talent than these teams, but these teams are playing tough. They're I don't know if they're playing the Buckeyes extra tough because it's the Buckeyes, or just these teams are tough.
Yeah.
And again, I hope this game wakes that up in our guys. That hey, you're all these top recruited kids, but don't be babies, man. You got to get after it.
Yeah. So again, another week where we probably need to bang on the play calling, just as much as the execution in some cases. like I said, we crushed them in total yards and time of possession, but we were very balanced. We were 43 pass plays to 40 rushes.
No, we weren't balanced. We weren't balanced because we only gave Curtis Samuel 2 rushes.
Yes, I agree with that, and only 8 catches. So he only got 10 touches. That's part of my issue. JT was throwing the ball a lot. Did not expect that in those conditions, honestly. But just for 1 touchdown, he didn't have any picks, which was nice. But I did not expect him to throw the ball that many times. That seemed like it went against our game plan. Am I crazy?
Well, again, how many catches did Weber have? And even probably a couple of those to Samuel were just little dump-offs, too. I mean, That's glorified running game, essentially. Spread offense running game, almost.
I like that they're even trying it, though, man, because we have not seen these dump-off passes until this point, really, on a regular basis. You know, they're using that little rainbow pass over top of the DN to Weber a couple times where he just basically ran around the DN and the DN was coming in and JT just lofted it over the DN's arms. But that didn't amount for much, but it's something. You know, if you're going to get a dude in your face, at least have an outlet that you can quickly get to, you know, a hot route.
I don't know. Some of them worked okay, but Penn State was defending that pretty well, I thought, amazingly well. So they weren't, I thought, again, maybe with Samuel, a couple of those do get broken off. I felt like Weber favored the sideline a few times on a couple of those, but he was getting hit hard. I mean, gosh, I don't mind. Step out once in a while, kid. You're getting blasted.
Sure, I get you. But that's the threat. When you don't have a downfield threat, you got 9 guys coming up in the box with the corners and everything, you know. The 2 safeties are just sitting back there because they know you're not going to throw fucking deep. So,
because we've shown no ability to complete a deep pass.
Yeah. We haven't even shown an ability to single a receiver out that this is our go-to guy, other than Baugh, you know, and he'll drop one here or there and
run the wrong route sometimes.
You know, his efforts there when he does get the ball in his hands. It's just
that was a sweet touchdown. Props to him. That was a man's touchdown.
That was an effort.
There.
Yeah, and he
I appreciate that ball.
Right. Let's keep the consistency up, and maybe, you know, the receivers get some kind of motivation from that. You know, this guy's out there doing it. I mean, we threw to 7 guys this week. Baugh was obviously the most targeted, but
and then who? It's probably Samuel and Wilson.
Samuel had 8, and Dontre had a couple, but not for any yardage, not for anything deep. You know, the Dontre catch was over the middle, about 10 yards deep maybe. So anyway, continuing issues with the passing offense. Nobody's separating themselves. This is extremely frustrating. I still think Noah Brown is a go-to guy.
And I know. I hope they don't rewind the tape from a month ago, because we were talking about how deep that receiver room was and how much talent's in there. Well, where?
Yeah.
Show me something.
Yeah. Like I said last week, if you got 10 receivers, you don't have 2. It's that old cliche about quarterbacks. If you got 2, you don't have 1. If you got a rotation of receivers still, then that means you don't have 1 or 2 standouts.
I hear you. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that room. I don't know with all that. They can't all be mediocre. They can't be. They're all like huge recruits. All you hear is great things about them. something's wrong. Something's not clicking. I don't know if it's with the offensive coordinator working them in, getting them prepared. The wide receiver, I don't know what it is, but something's just not clicking there that should be. The talent is there.
Right. I got to say it's development or something. I don't know. So, to touch on the defense, they held Barkley to under 100 yards. He was at 99. But,
on 12 carries.
Yeah, but that McSorley really gashed us.
God.
That dude was the wild card that we didn't really plan for, the way it looked to me. Bosa had the only sack. We did have a bunch of tackles for loss by everybody, basically, on the defensive line. So defense, I don't have a lot of problems with. There were a couple of those rainbow passes that McSorley made for some deep catches.
Well, the touchdown before half, you can't let them do that all the way down the field in a minute. Score a touchdown on you.
Right.
Yeah. But again, I think the D played really solid, but just gave up a couple big chunks at bad times.
I was happy they really shut down Barkley for the most part. I mean, I know he had some chunk plays in the first half, but if you watch that second half, he did not do shit. That McSorley made all the plays, and honestly, the Penn State offense didn't do much in the second half. It was all done by special teams and defense. And once again, we had a multi-penalty day, 8 for 45. I know the yardage doesn't sound like a lot, but these were some key freaking penalties, and I'm going to bang on those cocksucking Big Ten refs right now, because that goddamn horse collar they called on Taekwon.
I know.
What are you talking about, dude? Are you watching the play?
I know, you're not allowed to grab anybody anymore. I mean, what the heck?
By the jersey?
Jersey's off limits, man.
Fuck.
New rule.
And
Flag
these are
football. Get the flags on them.
Yeah,
Can't touch the jersey.
And that's the thing. These were like key plays, in a drive, that extended the drive or whatever, or killed a drive in our case, when the pass interference on James Clark wasn't called, and it was clearly a PI. The refereeing, we seem to have gotten beat up by the Big Ten refs this year. They're traditionally horrible, but usually it's not in our games. It happens in other games in the Big Ten, but we're getting the hammer this year for some reason, whatever. Hey, at least we didn't get a sideline warning. And
Herb, that's right.
Herb didn't get blasted in the nose. So that's a bonus.
Well, maybe he should have. Call the timeout, Urban.
Yeah. He should have got punched in the face with a play caller fist.
You call that timeout, and that kick probably does not get blocked.
Guaranteed, man. They rushed it out there. They rushed it out. Dudes didn't know who the fuck they're blocking because they're rushing the play. And
they're just setting up, and they got to snap, and they're not even looking up to see who they got.
Especially in college football, man. It happens every fucking time. You can see it in any game. I mean, I know that we're supposed to be special team, juggernaut or something, allegedly, but that didn't really look good.
We're good on kickoffs. That's where we're good on special teams, typically, is kickoffs, and that's about it.
I want to chime in on, while we're talking special teams, is fucking Dontre Wilson. All right. I understand that you want a guy that can actually catch the ball, but he does not do anything with it. He catches it, yes, but he does not get anything on a return. Zero. Our returns last week were like minus 2 yards on 4 punts. For real. I mean, it's fucking killing me.
I don't care. You know me on that.
I took some
stupid
catches
no
too. Well, that's the thing, is he took some stupid receptions after they bounced. It's like, dude,
that bounce one.
All right, you're going to be aggressive? Then do something with the fucking ball. Come on.
Yeah, but I didn't hate that play because you know what? It bounces. They might get it at the 2. So we ended up at the 10 or 12 or 8 or wherever the hell it was down there somewhere. But it was going slow enough. If he doesn't do that, these guys are going to pin us at the 1. So I didn't hate that.
All right.
As long as he was sure he could get it, and he did. He picked it clean.
Gotcha.
Bounced right to him. I think if it was trouble, if he had a fumbled, I would have been pissed off. But you know me, that's my whole thing. As long as you don't fumble back there, it's nerve-wracking back there.
I'm frustrated with the lack of production. It's been a long time since we've gotten more than a 10-yard return out of a punt. So maybe we're just facing really good coverage teams. I don't know.
Tell me the whole Big Ten.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to button up on this shitstorm from Saturday?
I don't know what our offense is. I don't feel like there's an identity. I think Curtis Samuel needs more than 2 carries, especially when one of them he showed everybody just how fast and fucking awesome he is. Right. And then his one catch where he dusted that dude on the sideline.
Yep.
I mean, I just don't know how he's not carrying more.
Yeah. I didn't really see the 8 catches. It seemed like he didn't have that many catches, but nothing worthwhile anyway. No, not for any substantial yardage.
And he got smoked. Barrett hung him out to dry late, actually, when we drove down our last drive. Mm-hmm. And I remember he caught one and he got smoked pretty hard. But you know him, he's so fucking tough. He bounced back up, but
sure,
he got hit hard.
Yeah. Well, never question.
I just think the offense looks. I mean, it looks like it did. It looks like it has for the last couple of weeks, frankly, and like it did against the Michigan State game last year. And I don't know, they need a spark or something. They got over it after Michigan State and went on to kick Michigan's ass. So I don't know. Hopefully, everything needs to get better. The coaching needs to get better, from the head coach to the offensive coordinators, special teams coach. Again, the D played solid. The O line was did you see that fourth quarter? I mean, they were all getting there. They were killing our O line.
Yeah. Nobody was winning, especially the tackles. They were getting just blown by, and the most frustrating thing in the world to me is seeing back-to-back sacks on 2 consecutive plays. That is so fucking frustrating. It's like, okay, I can see you getting burnt on one play, but you come back and get burnt the next fucking play? What the fuck are you doing, dude? You should not be on the field. Just my opinion. So
valid, man. It's valid.
Anyway, let's slowly migrate on to this coming week. Ugh. Northwestern. Okay. These guys are no joke either. I mean, this seems to be an ongoing battle in the Big Ten. They are much improved from their first 3 weeks of this season. 4-3 right now. They just hammered Iowa, Michigan State, and Indiana in a row. These dudes are on fire.
That's solid.
I mean, these are real Big Ten teams. It's not like they beat up on Purdue and some other garbage teams. So this is a 3:30 on ESPN. They like to throw a lot. Their QB has a good arm, and they got a receiver that he focuses on, this Carr guy.
That Carr's a badass.
Yeah, he's got some good yardage so far. So these guys just came off 3 big wins. What are you looking for out of this team? And how do we stop these clowns?
Well, it's a bit worrisome to me. I mean, I think after last week's game and losing to Penn State, okay, so I feel we control our destiny, but obviously that's winning out. And I think Northwestern is, probably if they just beat Indiana, they just beat Iowa, they just beat these teams, they're going to play us tough. I mean, if we throw out another garbage game with that kind of effort out of our team, all these games scare me. These guys are going to play their asses off, I would imagine. They look like they're clicking right now. Obviously, there's no way they've got the talent that we do, but I mean, the last 3 weeks we've been trending down, and if we don't turn it around this week, then these guys are going to give us all we want. I don't think they can beat us, but they're going to give us all we want.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm worried about it.
I don't think they can beat us, but they have a stud D lineman who's actually from Ohio that they recruited. This guy's leading the team in sacks. That's my concern with our weak-ass O-line right now. I really hope our O-line can continue to develop. I know that mid-season is not where you really start developing guys, but improvements need to be made, and I think this guy could have a big day if he lines up, especially on right tackle Prince. So that's my number one concern. And they're kind of riding high. I mean, look what they just did to Michigan State. They beat them by 2 touchdowns.
They put up 53.
Yeah.
I think that was in Spartan Stadium, so they're not afraid to play on the road.
Yeah, they beat Sparty in East Lansing. They beat Iowa in Iowa City.
Did they really?
Yeah. And they beat Indiana by 10 in Northwestern. So,
but they lost to Western. It's actually Western solid, but they also lost to like Illinois State or something like that.
Yeah, the beginning of their season did not start off so good. So, yeah, but they got their shit together, and they're really playing these Big Ten teams tough. You got to be somewhat concerned. This is not like your typical Northwestern team, which used to be all defense under Pat Fitzgerald. These guys let Michigan State get 40 on them, so that tells you there's holes. They let Iowa get 31 on them, and those two teams are not offensive juggernauts, so that tells you that there's some holes in their defense that we can probably exploit. But you better stop the freaking offense, because these dudes are throwing that shit, up and down the field.
Well, I'm sure they'll hit some good plays on us, but I'm still liking our D.
Oh yeah, I feel good, especially with our pass rush. If they get home often, then that's going to really kill that passing game. Secondary is solid for us, like I talked about earlier, outside of those few looping rainbows shots that they put on us last week at Penn State. That dude just whipped the thing into the sky and hoped it landed in somebody's arms. So.
And did I see Arnett or Ward getting burned again or somebody?
For sure. I can almost guarantee that. So enjoyable to watch. Yet they're still getting rotations in the secondary. So, anyway. I just took a quick glance at our 2 deep, and nothing really changed. They got Booker or Baker listed at that backer position, the weak side. Other than that, same garbage, seems like. I mean, nothing impressive. So, let's get into our microscopes. Who's your microscope on?
My microscope is on the wide receiving group. We have got to throw the ball. I heard Herb say this week that They got a couple big D tackles too, some big dudes. And if they're decent at anything on defense, it's stopping the run. And so to me, this presents the perfect opportunity to prove from the players and the coaches that we can run an effective offense by throwing the football with JT Barrett being Ohio State at home against Northwestern. If we can't do it this week, then guess what? We can't do it. Okay. So it needs to happen this week. It's on the wide receiver group. Not just Samuel and Dontre out of the backfield and, at their H-back position and little passes to Weber and even Ball. I want to see somebody from the wide receiver group or a couple guys and show that we've got a dynamic offense because it just looks too one-sided to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the output or the point I took last week is focusing on that wide receiver position, and nobody's still separated themselves, so we're still in the same boat, and I can definitely understand why you take that group. It's unfortunate that they've had the microscope on them all season and still have not separated.
Can't even put it on one guy because there's no one guy that even thinks about the breakout. Like, all right, this guy's about to. It could be any of them. Well, they all look like hell.
Can we put a coach on the microscope?
Yeah, I think so.
Seems like we should because it's all about development. So, who you got on defense?
On defense, I'm still going with Raekwon. I put it on him every week, and I know he had a fair amount of tackles last week, but again, I think Raekwon is a lot better talent than he is playing at. And this would be a good week, I think, to step up and just have a fucking monster game. It seems too mechanical. I think he plays hesitant because he doesn't want to get beat on the pass. I think he's awesome actually in the pass and covering guys, running backs out of the backfield. I just think in the running game he's hesitant.
I'm glad that he's finally getting some negative attention in the media. I mean, if you listen to any of the other Buckeye podcasts or interviews, they're finally talking about Raekwon not really doing his job. I mean, he was a Buckus Award nominee last year.
Dude, I watch him specifically. I like almost obsessively when I'm watching the football games, and I just he's got all the tools. It's something. I think he's too. He needs to loosen up. Just let go, play.
Maybe he doesn't trust that D line because they're so young. I don't know. You don't. I could see it looking at the D line from his point of view. Are these guys really going to make a play where I have an angle to get a tackle or to get a hit on somebody? So anyway, I love Raekwon.
The one thing I noticed with him though is I swear when I watch the teams that play us, their middle linebacker is coming up into the gap and crushing our lead blocker, whether it's a lineman or a whatever. And he waits for that lineman to get on him more than I feel he should. I feel like he should be blowing more plays up like that. Okay. And he doesn't. He just waits them slobs get on him. And he's out of it.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, I'm going to put my offensive player on the O-line. If you're going to set a whole position group up as your microscope, then I'm going to do the same. And
I don't blame you. I wanted to include them too.
I got 3 guys specifically out of the 5. I don't have a lot of worry for Elflein and Price, but Prince, Jamarco, and Jordan have been getting their fucking ass kicked, and they have no consistency. I'm going to settle on those 3, and I may have to punch a hole in my fucking TV this week if
even Billy dicks around sometimes.
Yeah, he's a big strong fucker and he likes to be proud of his strength and talk about it. But if he's not getting the job done as a junior, then he's going to get my wrath as well. But on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to stick with my homeboy Baker. I'm looking for him to make some plays this week. He was silent last week.
He was.
Only had a few tackles. They basically ran away from him, and I get it. It makes sense. But he needs to be in the backfield more often, and I want to see him making plays, blowing shit up, getting turnovers like he did, in the first half of the season. This is the back half. This is the home stretch. These are where championships are made. We're almost to November, so winners win in November. I think that's what Coach Tress used to say, something to that effect. So that's what I'm hoping for. I want Baker in the backfield, getting some turnovers, creating havoc, and making plays. That's my look. So we're
I want to see an aggressive team.
Yeah. And that hasn't really been an issue. It's just we're not getting the turnovers that we really want sometimes.
No, we were spoiled early.
So
we were spoiled early with some of that, but I don't know. I now they're playing solid, but I don't. I feel like they're just sitting back, resting. They're not an attacking defense right now. They're good enough where they're stopping everyone. I guess they don't need to be. But it'd be nice to see some more blitzes and some, not letting all these guys operate their offense.
Yeah.
We're gonna let this little sortie kid squeak out some drives on us.
Yeah. He was
whatever his name was.
McSorley. Yeah, he was an Irish devil.
Swirly.
That Irish devil was unaccounted for many times. So let's get into our predictions. Here we go. Vegas has us at 26.5-point favorites. And the over-under's at 53, so they're not looking at many expectations from Northwestern. I guess we're going to have to carry that over-under. What do you think? You got something for me?
What's the weather for? You got a weather forecast for me down in Columbus? What is it looking like this weekend?
Oh, it's supposed to
Do we
be
know
okay. They're getting a front coming through before Saturday. It's like Thursday and Friday. Let me check that out real quick. Here we go. Saturday, 75 and clear. A little humidity, but no precipitation.
75?
Yeah, 75.
75 in Columbus. Okay.
But
All
windy.
right.
A little 15
I like
mile
that.
an hour wind.
Oh, the warm front comes through and brings that wind.
Yeah.
I don't love that a ton, but it's in Columbus.
Yep.
I'm going 42-24.
Okay. So
Okay.
they don't cover. Okay. Interesting.
Nope, I don't think they cover. No way. They haven't. I've been off the cover wagon for weeks. You want to cover? Show me you can cover. I don't think you can cover. I haven't seen it.
You should be placing my bets then. I'll talk to you later about that. I'm going to go. I think Buckeyes get back on track on offense. They fix the O-line, and we put a pounding on these fucking Wildcats. I always go with the Buckeyes to cover, and I'm going to continue that trend. I'm going to go 42-10, and I think they'll be lucky to get that 10. I think this is going to be a wake-up call for the offense, and they're going to put it together, get the running game together. It's going to be a very balanced attack. And I don't think they'll pass more than they'll run like last week. But I think this is going to be a mixed bag. And, again, I think they're going to make Curtis Samuel a focus, which they seem to do every other week. If you notice the trend, they ignore him for a week, and everybody calls him out on it. And
they're
then,
like, why'd you do that?
Right. He's like, oh, shit. Where the hell was he? So that's what I think.
I hope you're right. I think they need to come back out and make a statement on, okay, you know what, we laid an egg, but we still need to be in this conversation.
Yeah. Well, they need to fix these problems, though. I mean, if these problems still fester, and even if they
if they fester, we're going to lose the game before we play Michigan.
Good point. Yeah, but even still, even if these problems seem fixed to us against a Northwestern, maybe they're just kind of masked by the team we're playing, you know, and maybe these issues aren't really fixed when we face a real defense again, you know. So I'm not sure this is a good litmus test for our corrections, but, you know, you can only do so much. You can only go out there and dominate and win. So we really won't have a huge defensive struggle again until Michigan, probably.
Well, I mean, who do we got coming up after this? We got Nebraska, right?
Yep.
Then Illinois. Got Illinois in there somewhere.
Yeah, we got Nebraska next at home, our place. Then we go to Maryland. Then we go to Michigan State, and then at home versus Michigan. We don't have Illinois.
Man, there's some shit talk going on up here about Michigan State this week.
I bet it's going to be a good one. If Sparty ever showed up, this is the week they should fucking.
This is the week to show up, Sparty. Grow a set and stop being fucking garbage.
Yeah,
they're terrible. They're going to get killed. They'll probably get run out of their building.
And that's what's shocking is D'Antonio is, you know, such a good coach. It's like he can't overcome the talent loss or something. I don't know.
I heard that locker room. Someone was just telling me last night. Heard there's rumors that locker room's in disarray and pointing fingers, and so they're just a hot mess. They're going to get run out of their building.
Yeah,
which is a shame. And then they'll turn it around on us and give us the game of their lives.
Of course. Yeah.
I swear it feels like that.
Every year. That's what they do. So
everybody gives us the game of their season. All these Big Ten teams I watch play us. They play tough.
Yeah. All right. That was a good one. It took me about 3 or 4 days to come back off the ledge and even talk about this game.
Control our own destiny. We're all right. Maybe.
Yeah. I was safe today and watched the 30-minute version while I was driving home of the video. So I enjoyed that, and I avoided driving into a few people. So anyway, I'm not sure what I just said. Let's, yeah, as usual. Let's wrap this bitch up. Let's put a gravestone in front of this episode, and maybe next week is a little more lively and enjoyable.
Oh, next week this time we're going to be fine. If they lose again, the wheels are coming off. Yeah. Unacceptable.
I may not have a computer left. It'll be laying in the parking lot through a broken window. So, all right.
All right, man.
Great
Peace.
show. All right, that's my guy, Sean Henry in Detroit.
Oh.
All right, Buckeye Nation, that was a good show. Thanks for joining us this week. Once again, hit us up at thebuckeyecast.com. Also, don't forget to hit us up on social media. You know we're at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. We're also on Stitcher, and we're on SoundCloud. Please find us on iTunes, subscribe, mash that button, and give us a little feedback, you know. Even if we suck, I don't care. Give us some feedback, for Christ's sake. See you next time.
It's fun.